Hey guys, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. We are here for the 257th, flyover of the Nikola site in Coolidge, Arizona. So welcome back everybody. I see we got about 29 people on. We're going to do as usual, take a look at the stock price before we get started on the video. Give more people to get on. But you guys need to hit that like button because you got 29 people on and 12 likes. Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit that like button so we can actually get started. I'm gonna hold you guys down to like 500 likes before we actually get the video started. So you better like it more than once. Let's take a look at the stock price right now. And market's closed. Okay, so we opened at 221 after closing at 213. So a little jump there. We got as high as 232. And we closed at 228, 15 cents up. So that's what we're looking at, 7% up today. Lucid was also up 42 cents, which is good. It's better than down. And Tesla was up 671. Also, Polestar down today. Don't know why. I haven't read any news today. But it was an up day for Nikola, and we're going to take it. So that's a good thing. Oh, look at that. Now we got 57 people on, 33 likes, 35 likes. Look, that's flying now. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. All right, let's get over to the video and see what we got going on at the site today. We had a issue last week when we went out to fly on Saturday. When we got there, the drone says, "Oh, update required." So that puts us in a bit of a pickle because we're out in a place where we can't get service to update almost a gig's worth of data, or a gig's worth. I don't remember what it was, but it was around that. So we were kind of stuck at that point and had to come back to the shop and do the update from here. Ben asked about the next Lucid flyover. That is coming a little bit later today. We have it, and it will be coming out later. And John says hello from South Korea. Well, hello from Arizona. I see Jeeps was searching on how to program his home link in his garage, and he found one of my previous videos, which has almost 50,000 views. We did a lot of workshop type videos. That's where the name comes from. And we used to do things like that, like how to program a home link. And we did a video on how to use your Cadillac remote, which got over 200,000 views. So we had some videos that were very informative and helped people out. That was before we started doing the EV stuff, and we kind of haven't done much of those at all since then. But hey, Deeps, thanks for watching it. I hope you hit the like button on it. You know how I am about that. Gotta hit the like button. It's 6:48 a.m. in Korea. Well, happy January 10th, because it must be the 10th over there. Lars, you're welcome. It's our pleasure to do that. And I don't know where Punta Cana is. Please tell me. I'm kind of interested with the name like Lars. Sounds like Norway or somewhere around there. Det Prez says hello. Thank you, Det. One of my Patreons. I appreciate your support. As you can see, all the trucks are still there. I think we may have a couple more than our last visit, maybe one or two. I'm getting this feeling that they're holding back on production until this casting issue with the battery pack is taken care of. Maybe not stopping it, but either slowing it down or focusing on the fuel cells more, because that's probably where their money is going to be in the long run. Selling the hydrogen, selling the truck, and they are also a long haul. Have much better range. Charles says he watched my Echo carburetor vid some 2 years ago. Yeah, that's also one of my really good videos that over 200,000 views. So sometimes they just go, and sometimes you get 200 views after two years. Angel says he sees too many trucks. What's going on? Well, I think I would like to think, and I don't have any knowledge of this, that these trucks are going to start getting pushed out shortly. Now that the IRA tax incentive has taken effect. So that's what we're hoping to see. These trucks start getting moved out. So down right in the middle of the screen, you can see the walls are going up for that utility room right there. There's two of them, and both of them have walls going up. So they're doing the concrete block just like they did on the other side. Doug says, anything on Walmart yet? Haven't heard a thing. Have not heard a thing. All we heard was early last week, that one order for 75 trucks, I think it was. As you can see, they're getting some trim up, it looks like, around those opening. Oh, actually, scratch that. That's not trim. That's going to stay open because they're putting walls up around that. But the guys were working on the trim around those open spaces that for when they're going to slip in the white panels. So that is where I was getting myself a little confused on. Let's see here. We still have all that roofing material. We've got wall panels down on the bottom. You see blocks and other things like that. You can see a truck coming in. Now over by the solar panels, you can see that nobody's parked over there today. And it looks like there's a man lift underneath there. And it looks like they're doing some work under there, and they probably had no parking over there. Let's see, Sebastian says hello from Germany. And he hopes that the fuel cell comes earlier than Q2. We do too. I don't think it will, but you never know. If they're really focused on that, maybe we'll see them come up maybe in March. But I don't really see that happening. I still think it's going to be later in Q2. Deep says, does this section complete their assembly line that they had on the original blueprint? It completes one building of it. There's two buildings that. There's another building that they could create. It's the same shape but flipped over, reversed. And that car is, that building, it would be on phase 3. Phase 3, am I getting that right? 0.5, 1, 2? Yeah, phase 3. So that's out in the future, and that could have a welding shop, a paint shop, and things like that. But with this building, their production capacity, I think, goes to 60 jobs per day. 60 jobs per day. Someone else can do the math, or maybe I'll do it for you if my mouse isn't asleep. 60 times, if they're 365, that's 21,900. Eventually, I think they'll have more capacity. They'll have like 35,000 capacity once they get the full line installed. But what they had set up for the line on the images that I saw, this building will be 21,900, and I think they'd be able to ramp up a little bit more than that because the goal was 35,000. Maybe they do need the second building for that. I'm not sure. Let's see. Any info on the possibility of upgrading a BEV to a fuel cell EV? I think it was said that there'd be a chance to convert them. I don't think so, to be honest with you. There's a lot that goes into the fuel cell part, and I'm not sure that that's something that would be economically worth it. Besides, you're giving up 7 batteries, and what happens to those batteries? Because that's the majority of the cost. You couldn't use them in another vehicle that's new. Maybe you could use it on a warranty issue and replace it with a refurbished battery. So I'm not sure. Let's say Pat G has one more question. The space they will leave between the current phase and the phase 3 coming in a few years, why do you think they'd leave the space between these buildings? It's supposed to be made into a courtyard, maybe an area for employees and things like that, but it's supposed to be a green area. I got the plans. I always keep them around. These are the old plans. I don't see any greenery in it. Let me check the... Nope. It's just going to be an open courtyard. No landscaping on it. I can show it to you guys. Let me see. How do we get this here? That's the one I have handy on paper. The new one is somewhere on the computer. I wasn't ready to answer a question on the layout, so I didn't have that handy. Does the fuel cell have a danger of thermal runaway propagation? And if so, who does Nikola use to prevent that? Curl technology? That is out of my pay grade. I do not know the answer to that. Let's see. Will they be using that building to manufacture the truck here instead of Germany? I think long term, if that second building, if they plan on doing welding in there, they may be doing some of the other work where putting the frames together. If they have a welding shop, it could be, or they could be just working with more base materials and making them into the things that they need. Patchy says you could use the batteries on other FCEVs. The trucks are interchangeable. They have the same frame. The cabs, I think the back end are going to be a little bit different, but not the front end. They use the same cabs for the fuel cell as they do for the BEV, and they go down the same line in putting in the parts that they need. So they are interchangeable, and the base of them, the frame and the cab, are going to be the same. I just don't know if it's just something that's economically feasible to do that. Might be easier to just sell the truck and buy another one or trade it in. How many batteries are needed with the fuel cell truck? It is 2 of their large packs. I don't know the weight of them. I do know that they're about this wide. About that deep. Yeah, you can't even see my hands. They're probably 24 inches wide, about that. Square, 24 by 24 by something deeper, maybe like 36. So they're decent sized batteries. When you look at the back end of any of the trucks, you'll see the silver plates. That's their shape, and then they're about 36 inches deep, and that's a guess. That's just off what I saw with my eyes. Ogden says, "Hey, Big Bear, wonderful to see you once again. I haven't been to your channel a few months because of travels to Europe." Hey, I'm in Europe. I'm in Europe all the time. I'm in Europe right now, apparently. Someone said it. They're in Germany right now, so I'm there. You can watch me there. Anyway, but coming back stronger and officially subscribed now. Thank you, Ogden. Keep us feeling gold. Or good, I don't know. Could be either one. Is Russell done selling his shares under the share selling plan that he had? I believe that expired at the end of the year, so that should be done with. Down below here, we can see all the mobile charging trailers. I think there's a few less than there was heading into the end of the year. They may have delivered 1 or 2 of those. Not 100% sure. So we're looking at 6, 12, 13 of them. I think there was a few more, and there's a couple more on the left of the screen, right near that BEV. And now I'm in England. I was in Germany a little earlier. Hello, Bear from England. Much appreciate the vid as always. Has anyone else noticed the outstanding shares slowly increase over the last month or so, or is it my imagination? I have not seen that. I have not looked at that. But that'd be interesting if you could find that on a chart, how many were outstanding 6 months ago and so forth. It should be going up, though, I believe, because they're going to be releasing more shares. We're going to go ahead and restart the video because we have so many people that may have come late. And there's 112 of you guys right now and 68 likes. So come on, guys. It's not that hard. Unless you're jogging right now and you can't hit the like button and you're just listening. But I doubt that. I doubt there's many people doing that right now. January 27th is the day for Trevor Milton unless he looks to postpone his sentencing day. Yeah, that is the day. Kind of looking forward to that because I just want to see more closures, more closure on that. He's also appealing his guilty verdict, so that could also delay it, or maybe not. Don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that. Pat G says Russell isn't done selling. He's got 2 million shares to go. Okay, well, if he does, he does. Ogden's still holding 17,000 shares and still underwater about $180,000. Hopefully we can at least touch $10 this month. What do we think? I don't think we will. I'm kind of grounded on this. I don't think anything is going to change. The only thing that can make anything change in the near future, excuse me, is a really good earnings report. However, I don't see that happening because I see these trucks still here not sold. And I'm pretty sure they'll explain that in the earnings report why they're not sold. And I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Anthony says this company looks like a perfect squeeze candidate. That is possible. Milton appealed due to prejudice on a juror's part. Yes, there was a juror who said that they don't get on social media and they don't know anything about it. And apparently they were very, very active on social media. But we haven't heard anything on the appeal. Why haven't they announced any BEV sales post New Year? They don't do that. They are still holding their numbers until their earnings report. A lot of companies do release their information like right after the end of the quarter, but Nikola has not done that in the past, so we're not expecting that, or I wasn't expecting that. Lucid did that for the first time just last quarter, and a lot of the manufacturers who have ramped up, they just go ahead and put them out right away. Patchy says he told FreightWaves he has options for about 8 million and has sold 6 million till the end of 22. So at least he doesn't have to visit the soup kitchen with his wife. Yeah. Could you imagine though putting those in when it was at like $5 a share, and when you start selling it goes down to the low twos, and everything you were counting on is not quite what you expected? Do I think Nikola will make the dangerous swim and us finally seeing the light? I'm not sure what the dangerous swim actually means. You can elaborate. I don't want to answer that because I'm not sure what you mean. Daniel says the stock price will be in the hundreds in a few years. No need to worry about the stock prices hold as long as you like the company. Tom says 6 months ago shares were 373 million float. And what are they now? Because I'm not looking it up right now. Got to stay focused. All right, you see that crane out there. I wonder if that crane's going to be lifting any of those HVAC units, because they do need to get them up there, and they've used smaller cranes, or they started off with using very large cranes. Back a couple hundred episodes ago, when they put those up there, they brought in a yellow crane that had a long lift to get some of those units on there. And then for the next section, I think they used one of these. But this crane's got the high lift. Maybe they're just moving supplies up there. Can't really see what that crane is doing. Sebastian says, if this truck's not sold, we have a problem. What is it with the HVIP program Nikola has? Their 124 truck coupon. Yeah, it's true. They do have, that is what I heard. They got 124 that were put in, and that's why I think we need to see these trucks start moving out, or at least an explanation. And we're going to have to wait until early February for that explanation if they're still there. Keep the boat dry until they start being profitable. Okay, all right. If the stock price is in the hundreds in a few years, I'll buy a BEV truck myself and just let it sit in the driveway. Deep says, I said I'd buy it too, so I did and sold already. Well, thanks for still being here, Deeps. We need the FCEV much faster. H2 is the future. Then the stock price is much higher than now. Yeah, I think there's a lot more orders for the fuel cell, a lot more. But they also still have the infrastructure issue that has to be resolved before they can start putting all these fuel cells on the road. Because right now, one of the reasons they weren't selling the BEVs is because of the infrastructure. And some of the letters of intent, they don't have the infrastructure installed yet, so they're waiting on their trucks. Well, If that gets resolved and then the fuel cell trucks come out, then we still have the same issue. That's still not good. And he says he loves the channel. Can you give us plenty of notice when you live stream your program, because I always miss them? I'm sorry about that. We kind of run things on the fly. We don't have a schedule here. We do these flyovers on different days of the week because of my Toro business. Keeps me pretty busy, and we have to make sure that we can fill it in on days where I don't have to swap out like 6 or 8 vehicles. So I'm sorry about that. And then once we get the video and we get it uploaded, we try and get it done as soon as possible, because I usually have something to do. For example, today, right after this live stream, we're going to get the Lucid video taken care of, and then I have to go to the airport. I've got my brand new Corvette, 2023 Corvette, beautiful cars, silver with a black top. That's coming back from its first rental, and it's going back out tomorrow, so I got to get that taken care of. And then I've got 2 other cars that also need washed and set up to go out tomorrow, and 2 cars that came in today have to be checked in. So it's one of those things where we do these when we can, and we try and get 2 a week. We used to do 3, but we had 1 last week just because of issues with the drone when we got there. There's been no news on the $1.4 billion government grant. And by the way, guys, if you're interested to see my Toro fleet, if you go to the description below, there is a link that will take you to all the cars if you want to see what kind of cars we have. Ogden wants to know what I think is a reasonable stock price estimate for 2023. You know what? I'm a very bad guesser at these things. If one thing I'm good at is buying a stock and watching it go down, I've got some excellent skills at that. So if I buy something, you should probably short it. So I don't even want to guess at the stock price, because, hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't give stock advice. Kramer says fuel cells are a no-go. Yeah, we don't listen to him. Nobody does anymore. He forgets that there's videos out of what he said previously. I assume we're talking about Jim Kramer. Deprez, thank you for the super chat. Deprez says, thanks, Bear. Your videos are appreciated. When the fuel cells start hitting the road, it'll be too late to get in at these prices. Get it whilst you can. You are correct about that. If fuel cell works out, the stock price is going to go pretty high. Speaking of fuel cells, there's a bunch right there. Let's go back and look at them. These are all betas and alphas. That's a beta. That is an alpha. That looks like a beta, alpha, BEV, beta, alpha. So we got 10 trucks sitting right there. 8 of them are fuel cell. I mean, they've proven it works. I'd love to know how the testing is going, and also want to know the cost. Just like I want to know what the Tesla Semi is going to cost, because I'm not going to knock the Tesla Semi until I know what it costs, because that's what it's all about on these vehicles, is total cost of ownership. Do you know when they're supposed to get an answer about the loan? I don't know if there's a deadline or not, but it is the government. And being that they're completely clueless, it could be yesterday and they forgot to put out the announcement. It could be in 6 months. I think it'll be sometime between yesterday and 6 months. We'll get an answer on that, probably sooner than later. So, I'm talking about them being clueless because of what they did for the qualifications. I don't know if you guys saw the qualifications for all the electric vehicles and the rebates. It was kind of just random. I'm surprised they didn't put paint color in there as a possible reason not to get the rebate. And it says, do I see a potential buyer for the company? If there was a company that would buy them, I think it might be Toyota. Pure conjecture. There's nothing behind that. But Toyota is not under the belief that electric vehicles are the way to go. They're still into their hydrogen stuff very much. Whether they're making progress or not, I don't know. But I think that if they were to take the technology that Nikola has made and they could get into the semi trucks. So it could be something that would work for them. Open to the Road says California would be a big market for these trucks since they are banning big rigs. Yes, and that's where a lot of the hydrogen is going to start off at. They're going to start putting the hydrogen hubs there. QK says we need more long-term buyers. Nikola will rise, but it takes time. I agree with that statement. Pat wants to know where Micah and Michael Stanley are. Micah occasionally gets on the live stream, says one thing, and then disappears. Michael Stanley never gets on the live stream that I can remember. Let's see, Pat G, thank you for the super chat for 1 mile riding your new Corvette. Yeah, it's such a beautiful car. And we have another one on order. It's supposed to be built next week. So pretty excited about that. That Corvette has started off very good on Toro. We've got 5 reservations on it. Yeah, so that's a pretty good start for probably, I don't know, about 20 days worth of reservations. And it's so it won't be 200. We've got about $3,500 worth of reservations on the car. So that's pretty good. Mohammed says, thanks for everything you do on Nikola. It's helped me to believe in this company and build my position. Currently holding 50,000 at 291. We'll be adding more once past my current average. Well, good for you. That's quite a bit, and that's a good buy-in price. Liam says the biggest catalyst for him this year is for the stock price to go north. Has got to be both confirmation of the loan for the hydrogen hub and a purchase order from one of the fleets currently testing fuel cells. Those are definitely big catalysts. The other part is going to be this battery issue that they're trying to resolve. And Gigi says, hoping Nikola accelerates development of the fuel cell to start selling earlier this year. I think they're going as fast as they can. I think if they could go faster, they would. Keep in mind that the fuel cell also has 2 batteries in it, so that is also driving up expenses. Not as much as the 9 that are in the battery electric. Do you think Musk will change his position on fuel cells? Not unless it's really proven over a long period of time. But I'm going to say he's pretty stubborn, so I think he'll probably stick to that for quite a while. Debt Prez is thinking Iveco perhaps is buying out Nikola. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that works for them or not. I don't know what their finances is. I know that when I say Toyota, they probably got $1 billion in their wallet, so they could probably do it. Sebastian, the best way is Pepsi by Nikola fuel cell. Yeah, I think Pepsi's pretty tied into Tesla, so I'm not sure we're going to see that. But if Walmart was to put in a big order, Anheuser-Busch has got an order for 800 fuel cell trucks. So once they start producing them, they can start shipping them. They've got the orders in. Let's see, what's the truck count up to? Didn't do a count. Probably looking at about 130, 140. That Prez, anyone hoping to get a Cyber truck, a Kuber truck? Did you mistype? Is the U by the way? Okay, Cyber truck this year. I would like to get my Cyber truck this year. I ordered the tri-motor, but I have no expectation that I'm getting it this year. I think though I'm going to get my Cyber truck before I get my Hummer, because my Hummer reservation a couple of weeks ago came back and said I'm looking at like Q1 of 2025. Which is like, wow. And the title of the email was, you can finally see the light, which was hilarious because it's 2 years from now. My Hummer reservation was only put, I think, last April. My Cybertruck reservation was put in March or February of 2021. I ordered it the same day I ordered a Model Y Got the Model Y in about 3 weeks. Still waiting on the Cybertruck. I haven't heard a thing. Magufo, any guess when the scan company is filing bankruptcy? Should be Q3 2023. Delisting probably earlier when it hits less than $1. Okay. So I don't really have a guess on when they're filing bankruptcy because that's kind of stupid. Your guess is probably 2 quarters later than your last guess, though, because all you guys who get on and want to hate just keep changing the dates, keep moving the goalpost. Toyota and Yamaha are working on a hydrogen motor without a fuel cell. Okay. I wonder how much better a hydrogen motor straight up would be to propel a vehicle than an electric motor that runs off a battery that's powered by the fuel cell. I'm not sure I'm not sure which one would be more efficient. I don't really know much about hydrogen motors themselves, though could be interesting. Is it good if Nikola got bought out? What will happen to our shares? I don't think it would be good because I think, you could have a company come in and say, well, we'll offer you $4 a share. And a lot of people are into this for a lot more than $4 a share. So it would have to be substantially higher for a lot of people to not lose money. And I think depending on how the offer is made, you may have an option not to sell your shares, or it just may be converted over to the shares of the other company, and you may not have any choice on that. It all depends on how it goes. I'm not very familiar with how like buyouts work. Okay, Magufo, we're gonna remember below $1 by February. By February means before February. Okay, so I'm assuming your first language is English, so you know that. So January 31st, it's going to be below $1. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Magufo is right. And Magufo, if you weren't on earlier, my assumption of why these trucks haven't been sold yet is because they are going through the process of they've got orders for them. They've got customers that are getting infrastructure installed, and we're going to wait until the earnings report in February to find a good answer for why it looks like they've slowed down production of the BEV and why these trucks haven't shipped. But it's very possible that they could start shipping out soon and disappearing. Or maybe they are shipping out and they're just adding new ones and I'm not seeing them. It's very possible. Tesla could buy Nikola to complete the name. Interesting idea. I don't know if that's worth like $1 billion just to complete the name, but that's kind of funny. All right, that person says he did mean cyber. 89G Player says, love the videos, like to ask you about the car business. Well, you can reach out to me on Twitter. It's at Bears Workshop. You can message me through there, and I would gladly answer any questions. Unless you want to throw one up here now. Oh, Mike is here. Good. We were just talking about you. Let's see. Could the foiled cabs next to the battery building be new cabs for the fuel cell beta or alpha? It's possible. It is possible. If Nikola's granted the $1.3 billion, there's no need to talk about a buyout. Well, that money is supposed to be used for hydrogen hubs. That's what that money would be for. How can people still think Nikola is a scam? Followed by Micah, do Nikola have any real customers to all the BEV trucks standing and collecting dust in Arizona? Oh, this is not our dusty time of year. It's been raining, so they're quite clean. They're not dusty. But really good question. Why are those trucks actually still sitting there? We're going to find out hopefully on the earnings report. I think it would be very disappointing to the investors to not have an answer, and I'm pretty sure they'll do that. They've been pretty open and honest and straightforward with the things that they say, unlike Lucid, when hey, you ever think about getting a rail line? You've got the rail spur right there. Oh, well, we're looking into everything. Just answer the question, are you or are you not? Lucid is very vague on their answers, and Nikola is pretty straightforward. Let's see, options look crazy next week. Great. Mark also claims Nikola have 14,000 pre-order for the fuel cell. Yeah, he did say that. He said that's when they announced the fuel truck that they had 14,000 reservations uh, for the fuel cell truck, and that was several years ago. Whether those orders still exist or more orders came in, I couldn't tell you. But, oh geez, we got these guys going back and forth now. Magufa thinks Trevor Milton should come back to this clown company. Magufa, you're a clown. I don't even know why you're here. If you don't like the company, leave. Let's see. Trevor Milton come out of prison in the year 2045. Yeah, and Micah, yeah, I hope so. Well, I don't care when he gets out, but yeah, he should go to jail for doing the things that he did. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. If he didn't say the things that he said, the stock price would be much higher right now. If he didn't make false promises, if he didn't sow the seeds of doubt on Nikola, people would look at him as a company that's just up and coming and still wondering whether they'll succeed or not. But doing what he did, no, it did not help the company. And it created people like Micah. Pat says, trolls are taking over. Have a nice evening, true Nikola supporters, and a big thanks to me. Without you, I wouldn't be invested anymore. Can you explain the last capital raise they did? Yes, I can. They've always said that they want to maintain enough cash and for 1 year's worth of solvency. So a quarter had gone by. So that was completely expected. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again within the next quarter or two. It's just them keeping money in the bank and keeping 1 year's worth of finances. That's something they've been saying for years. Has Nikola started construction on the 3 hydrogen fill stations in California? Can some of our California friends post some pictures? Yes, that would be great. If someone from California has any opportunity to go by any of the 3 sites that are supposed to have hydrogen in them, please post something. Let us see if there's been any progress. Daniel says, yes, the money goes to hydrogen hubs, but the government is not going to give money for a specific purpose if the other business needs help. The money is also it's a guarantee. It's a loan guarantee. It is not the government giving money. Unless Nikola fails to pay the money back, then the government's on the hook. This is not a getting the money from the government. I'm not sure actually where they're getting the money from, unless they are getting it from the government and the government's guaranteeing it to themselves, which doesn't make sense. So I've read it as a loan guarantee. Can we take the Musk Twitter approach and just ban these trolls? Nah. I am kind of also like a free speech thing. If they want to come in here and say stupid things, let them. Micah never says anything really intelligent, so it is kind of funny, but I just let them roll. We can have people on here who are going to have negative comments, but they could also be legitimate negative comments, like why are those trucks still sitting there? It's a good question and it's legitimate, but they want to go on and say, well, they're going to go bankrupt because they have those trucks in on them. Well, whatever. Oh, Magufo got a message deleted. Guess he was out of line. I missed it. Hate when I miss it. Who on this live stream actually believes that the Tesla Semi will be the go-to vehicle? I think it's possible. I think the Tesla Semi has the name. It is going to probably have the capability of what they're saying. What we still don't know is how much it can carry and how much it's going to cost. Because I will bet Magufo $1,000 that it's by the end of this year, that price of $150,000 is not going to exist anymore. And they've been very silent on that. If you go to the webpage to order a Tesla Semi, it will not tell you how much it costs. And Daniel says, let's not forget this terrible bear market, which has not helped the stock price. And that's true because all the tech companies are down right now. All of them. So, especially the EVs. Open to the road, California, right here. Where are these stations at? It's a good question, too. I don't know where they're at. Perez says, keep the trolls around. I love them. Yeah, the only way you're going to get banned on this channel or knocked out is by making using profanity, attacking other people, or just being an all out asshole. I mean, that's as Imelt says, Magufo, boring. Whatever. Come up with something new. God, I wish I could see what he said. Hate when I miss that. Magufo can go. He can be the first. Well, Imelt will tell me later what he said. All right. So anyway, we're hitting 40 minutes. 109 viewers, 90 likes. I think that's pretty good for today. I like that. So I want to thank everyone for being here. We're going to end this now. We'll have the Lucid video later today. Tomorrow, fast charging with B&B. That's me and Brian from My Tesla Weekend, where we go back and forth talking about different EV stuff. It's usually pretty fun, sometimes even funny. So, guys, I don't get any viewers on that. One of you guys get the notifications. Just pop on there. Say hello. Hit the like button. Let it play in the background. We need to get that channel moving. So I'm really asking for your help. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Be there. Oh, Mike has got one more comment. Profit on every fuel cell truck sold to real customers. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'll tell you what. You want to talk about a bad margin? The Tesla Semi has a bad margin right now. So anyway, bye, Micah. I'll miss you. See you on the next video. Everyone else, I love you guys.